Between Nemocón and Suesca lie mountains that have never been studied by archaeology. This terrain is rugged, remote, and largely unexplored. Yet, just a couple of kilometers from here, Checua sites have revealed mummies, Ice Age hunters, rock shelters, and some of the earliest human presence in South America. If people lived and moved through this region more than 10,000 years ago, what remains hidden in these mountains today? In this video, we explore a truly mysterious and enchanting landscape and the real possibility that Ice Age shelters, rock art, ancient hunting camps, or perhaps something even more amazing lie hidden, forgotten to time, still waiting to be discovered. So I'm here today hoping to find some kind of evidence here in the surrounding landscape, whether it be pictograms, whether it be petroglyphs, whether it be cave, rock shelters, some sort of carved monolith structures. Our journey begins today at the old train station in Nemocón, originally built in 1911 and sadly abandoned in 1960 when this train line stopped working. Hi, this is Jay with Explore Colombia. Today we start our journey at the old train station here in Nemocón. Archaeologically speaking, this area has never been explored. There are many caves, mountains, páramos between here and Suesca. So hopefully today we can find something. So I've just stopped to have a quick coffee before we go, and it looks like we've made a friend. Say hi. So I'm heading now along this old train line that you can see behind me to explore this region between Nemocón and Suesca. I'm here today doing what I call a first level exploration, which is basically just exploring the landscape, trying to identify any possible sites and seeing if it's worth exploring them in the future. Well, the old train line appears now to be cutting through a rocky canyon, so it should give me a nice rest from the sun that's been raging down for the last hour. Well, I've found here what appears to be rock art. That's definitely not natural. And it's definitely not modern. It seems way too high up for anyone to take the time to get up there and do that. And it's not modern graffiti. Very big as well. Fantastic. So it looks like we're just coming up to the first derelict train station along this old train line. Let's get along and see what we can find. Well, this is the old train station. As you can see, it's abandoned, derelict. We're now in the tiny village of Mogua, which is halfway between Nemocón and Suesca. let's get over and see if we can have a look inside. So let's go in here and see what's inside. As you can see, this is all very overgrown and abandoned. Really only the shell of the original structure remaining. Left to the hands of time. Imagine this would have been the bathrooms. All completely overgrown and abandoned. Let's have a look here, the windows. Completely abandoned. I imagine that in its heyday, this would have been a glorious station. Glorious building. 2 floors. Would have been painted white like the other train stations here in Colombia. Let's go on this side and see what we can find. Now it looks like up ahead we're coming up to the first of 2 tunnels. Look at that, fantastic. Now I'm stood here in front of the first of 2 tunnels. Now this tunnel was built back in 1911 and was abandoned in 1960s when this train line stopped working. Just beyond these mountains that you can see behind me lie the Badlands of Checua, where mummies were found by archaeologists, and scientists discovered that their DNA was related to no other group in South America and dated all the way back to the very first people to colonize this continent between 15 and 20,000 years ago. The bewitching Badlands of Checua, one of the most important early archaeological sites in the whole of South America. Human remains found here date back more than 9,000 years, placing people in this region at the end of the last ice age. But Checua holds another mystery. Genetic studies revealed traces of an unknown ancient population, a ghost lineage, not directly related to later indigenous groups. So the landscape has opened out a bit here. We've got some lovely scenery. Lush green mountains and hills. Fantastic. Well, I've found here what appears to be a line of rocks, and it goes all the way back across this field. If you can see, it goes all the way across. right to the edge where the trees are on the other side. Fascinating. Now you can see here in the distance the first evidence of caves and rock shelters. Now, these would have most likely been inhabited by these people that lived here all those thousands of years ago. This sandy landscape that you can see in the distance would have been the old shoreline of the ancient Lake Humboldt that would have stretched from here, Nemocón, 70 kilometers down to the south to what is now Checua-era. So I've come across the first bridge. Now, this doesn't look very stable. I'm not very good with heights, but I'm just going to take a bit of a look over the edge. Oh yeah, that's really high. Yeah, I think I'm going to walk around this one. And there we go. Much better walking round. I really don't trust those 100-year-old wooden blocks that are placed there. That looks just slightly dodgy. Well, we're much higher up on the mountain now. We have ascended probably 300 meters. We're at least 2,900 meters. This fantastic scenery that you can see behind me. Truly breathtaking stuff. Well, I've come across this very, very old derelict house. I'm going to go up and see what's inside. Well, here we are. Let's have a look and see what's inside here. That's all fallen down, completely derelict. Let's just film through this hole in the wall. Looks like this is now home to some cows. Look at that. Completely fallen down. So I'm now at nearly 3,000 meters, which makes this perhaps the highest train line in the whole of Colombia. Well, this is the second bridge. As you can see, this is much longer and much dodgier than the first one. I've just spotted some rocky outcrops here in the distance, which would be prime places to explore for rock art and rock shelters. Definitely worth coming back for that. Now, here in the distance, I've spotted what look to be two mounds. Now, they look to me to be man-made. And on the furthest one, you can see a stepped platform type effect on the outside. Worth further exploration, definitely a future site. Well, I'm about coming to the end of my journey now. I'm about 20 minutes from the town of Suesca. I've been following the train line and I've just deviated from it from these last 10 or 15 minutes because the going was too tough. Luckily, there's a nice track that runs parallel to it and this should take me down into the town. Fantastic day, some great scenery, some great train history, and I believe some pictograms. Thanks for watching. Well, here just ahead of me is the town of Suesca. Look at that scenery there. Absolutely breathtaking. Fantastic. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.